up alongside things like Maokai and Elise, try and mix up that damage profile between the mid jungle. If you do go double AP with mid jungle, then you're looking at an easy Merc Treads. But regardless, we are seeing alongside the Jace, the Renekton being removed and Mad Lions kind of focusing some of the comfort picks for Dior. I was going to say perhaps Ryze would be something that they look to remove, but instead the Kassadin. Even though he did get a small nerf to his E, it seems that people consider it a strong scaling pick regardless, and something that needs to be respected. Of course, the Jack's still up and available. How could we forget? Still strong, still very powerful, and by removing away the Renekton and the Jace, this does suggest that maybe Chase will look towards maybe a Cassante, maybe even a Gnar, depending on what direction they want to go with the top side.
Yeah, and the Jax does keep your, obviously you're going to be throwing that at the top side. It does keep your options open for mid, so you're giving that counter pick for Dior. But also, as well as that, you mentioned the Cassante. Jax does exceptionally well into Cassante. It's one of the few champions you're actually kind of thinking in a 1v1, you would maybe favor the Jax over the Cassante. But we are going to see that matchup now locked in for Chasey as he goes up in against Finn. And now Nisqy is technically picking blind, but with all the champions on the board, he's got a pretty decent idea of what Astralis are trying to do.
Hovering the Orianna right now, but I think Victor is a perfectly fine, safe blind pick. Azir also very good. If he's feeling spicy, good for Akali. I don't think that Akali is the best option right here, and instead he is going to stick with the Control Mage. I think it's the safest, the most sensible. And yeah, so Mad Lions, nothing crazy. It is about as meta as you can get. Even after the nerfs to this bot lane, they still feel very comfortable on it, and why wouldn't they? Kazi and Hylissang have been an incredibly consistent duo throughout winter. And when you pair that alongside a team fighting in Azir, the powerful presence that Maokai has, along with the skirmishing and disrupting power that the Cassante brings, very well-rounded comp, very front to back, very stock standard. Meanwhile, Astralis, they have a little bit more poke, they have a little bit more of a 1-3-1, they want to try and attack these side lanes, leverage their roaming capability, get Dior unlocked on the map, so don't be surprised to see 1-1-3 look to attack Nisqy in the early game to give Dior that extra bit of pressure. By forcing the flash out from Nisqy, makes it easier for Dior to push and then roam. Maybe they can look to attack top, maybe they can set up some dives bot. Regardless, the whole idea is get Dior opened up in the mid lane to then start attacking these sides and then get an early advantage. And that's what Astralis need to do, find an early lead, because otherwise when it comes to scaling, Mad Lions have the beat.
Yeah, I think if you're going to the late games team fighting, you are going to be struggling just a little bit considering what Mad Lions have built up for themselves. And Astralis, like we said, coming in as heavy underdogs, but definitely not to be underestimated. They have been getting better week on week. They've been looking good towards the end of the regular split. We'll see what they're able to kind of give us here right now, because again, I think it comes down to expectations are all on Mad Lions. Astralis effectively just kind of come in and play their game.
Yeah, exactly that. The beauty of securing top 8 is even if you lose today, you will have another chance in the lower bracket of this group. But if Astralis can make an upset happen, then this group can definitely get very crazy. Mad Lions, though, have looked very convincing, and as you rightly said, no expectations really on the shoulders of Astralis. People are still, well, I would say, I don't think it's fair to say underestimating. I guess we'll find out if they're being underestimated today.
Have to wait. I'll have to wait and see, but we're going to jump straight into the Rift to see how this best of 3 will kick us off.
Until minions spawn.
Onto the Rift, and the new standard in the game seems to be these 3 rushes. Everyone goes down there, be it in one side or another, because you just need to know if anyone's going to be trying to get something a little bit more, less than standard in your bot side.
It's making sure that you get that early information. The power of the level 1 cheese is very scary, but also just being able to claim control over the 2v2 lane is important. The observers are highlighting some of the vision that has been littered around the map for us. Okay, observers, I get it, I see it.
You've been around a long time, you might have missed it, all right?
They did a cheeky zoom in there. Thank you very much, observers. But yeah, the whole purpose of that topside red ward is to spot, well, Mad's invade, if they want to get deep vision to try and spot out what 113 is doing. Meanwhile, Mad is just covering. They wanted to secure and see if Astralis were trying anything cheeky in the bot side of the map, along with covering that entrance to the top side to make sure that Elyoya is well protected. Dior currently hiding in Fog of War. Chasey actually going to drop his ward very early and not in an ideal
very
position.
Shallow, yeah.
Yeah, he was a little bit worried, but investing the ward that late into the laning phase, I'm not entirely sure what he was expecting to happen. But it's maybe something that 113 looks to try and punish. Jonghoon taking a lot of damage already.
A hell of a lot of damage. You can't underestimate the Ignite at level 1, and we've seen this so much from Karmas, and even just kind of high intensity bot sides. Is like, yes, the Nami Lucian is fantastic, not really that great level 1, so you want to try and put it under pressure, you want to try and keep yourself in the ascendancy, and like you said, if Astralis' plan is to go in mid lane, bot lane doing this on its own works well for them.
It's one of the things as well, for those, we see this matchup a lot, but seeing as we don't have anything too crazy happening in the early game, Kazi, when he runs first strike, will always start with the W first to be able to start getting those procs off early, which, as you rightly said, contributes to the fact that your level 1 is just much weaker. Does also scale with AP, and we have seen someone like Hansama even start with the Doran's Ring to give them a little bit of extra poke damage very early on into the laning phase because of, well, how well it actually scales with AP, but no Lucian in the right mind is going to build full AP.
You never know, man. Kerry is out there.
Now, 113 has done a 3-camp clear, is looking to set up an early gank mid, which is exactly what we talked about in draft.
Yeah, well, looks like Niski recognizing there is he doesn't have the priority on the bot side just yet. Aloya is just coming in towards his Raptors, but 113 not going to get any purchase there. And you can see the Niski having that veterancy, the sixth sense to kind of recognize where he does have priority and where he straight up has vision as well.
Does secure that cannon minion. And as you rightly said, just really great awareness from Niski. I definitely would have died. That's for sure. You know how in fighting games they always go, be honest, who got hit? You know, and they do those big steps in the corner, and then the commentators were like, yeah, I got hit.
Yep.
And I was like, yeah, I love comparing it to League and how I'd be like, yeah, I definitely would have been ganked there. Keep my eyes as well on the map. Dior going to invest an early TP here. Wants to start stacking up that tier as quickly as possible as 113 secures the bot crab. Alyoya does have information on where he is roughly, and 113 looking for a gank in mid. And again, the whole game plan here. Ooh, nice W there.
Nice little W. Karzi, though, going to be going very aggressive here. The Ignite came in just as the heal went down, so Kabe has to get himself back down a little bit. Flash forward there by Jonghoon, trying to catch out Karzi. Both AD carries trading very heavily. Flash forward, ebb and flow. Oh, first blood goes to Hillisang. It doesn't matter the champion, he is going to go ham.
The Mad Lions bot lane find the 2v2. Now 113 is hovering around. He's trying to dodge the ward, but Kazi's not going to fall for the bait. That wave is still in a pretty good space for Mad as well. Actually, I might stop pushing. We can keep track of that a little bit later. Flashing from Finn.
Oh, flash away by Chasey, and this is the Jax Cassante lineup I was talking about. That early pressure you get with something like a Jax. You're able to put down some serious hurt, but Alyoya is in position. Level 4 gives him a decent amount of damage.
Finn should know, though.
Yeah, I was going to say, he knows his buy was just reset. He does not have the priority.
Well, it's he should have seen the Scry's bloom popped as well. Which is
probably the sapling as well that went into the brush.
That probably helps, yeah. But so he had information, so I would have been surprised if he fell prey to that. But going back to that bot lane play, a couple of crazy things happened there. Hillisang, if you guys have a chance to go back through, watch the VOD, he actually put himself in front of Kazi so that Kobe couldn't land any more Qs on him, which then gave Kazi the confidence to actually stick in the fight and not be forced to flash as quickly as he needed to. Then when Jonghoon went for that kill, he actually channeled up the empowered mantra, and I think that he was kind of waiting for Kazi to actually burn that flash so that he could follow up. But instead, he then preemptively flashed to try and catch him off guard, and then he hit a minion. So his empowered Q didn't actually have enough damage to secure that kill onto Kazi. So a couple of small mechanical blunders there, but we're actually going to get a replay of this. Oh yeah, this is great. So Kazi here doesn't choose to invest the flash, gets the heal, and then look at the positioning here from Hillisang, immediately putting himself between Kobe and Kazi. And then look, that caster minion at the back is actually what takes the brunt of the empowered Q. Kazi very likely could have lost its life, given that he flashed in a straight line. And then Hillisang is able to secure that kill onto the bot lane. So overall, like, really impressive stuff from Hilly in the 2 versus 2. And credit to him, I know a lot of people have been excited to see him succeed. A lot of people were worried and surprised after his departure from Fnatic, and quite frankly, they thought that it was a downgrade to have him being paired with Kazi. But the bot lane has had an incredible split so far, and they continue to look dominant in the bot lane 2 versus 2.
His first dragon goes over to Astralis. Chem Dragon collected up. Nice little bit of tenacity picked up for themselves there, but Astralis not to be outdone despite the bot lane priority, like he said. Finn did reset up to the top side. Hasn't used his TP, actually, so Finn does have a little bit of a summoner advantage for now. Let's wait to see what really is going to be the real boiling point between this. And honestly, it could be around this Rift Herald, because you will have the Realm Warp, you will have the ultimate from 113 as well. So we might see a bit of a kind of a setup here between both sides to try and secure that objective.
he's still hovering around for now.
No flash and no health bar. That is Younghoon picking himself up a kill, getting one back on Hilly for earlier.
Unfortunate that Younghoon was the one to actually secure that. Ideally, that would have gone to 113 or Kobe, but the play was clean. Very little, much more to add. 113 didn't even have to invest a flash. He was able to just get the very edge of the queue, which provided the knock-up, which allowed the bot lane to secure that kill. So 1-1 now is the scoreline. No real objectives on the board to play for Hylissang. I did wonder if he would actually start roaming up towards the top side early to go and contest this Herald that you mentioned earlier, but instead he will make his way back towards bot. Wouldn't be surprised to see Kazi push out one more wave before the Mad Lions bot lane look to go back to base. Keep my eyes on Kobe now, because again, this Herald, as you rightly said, is going to be the next big point of contention. Observers, if we could quickly look at mid lane, you'll notice that Niski is looking to push Dior and ideally chip him out as much as possible ahead of this fight that is soon to be. They want to make sure that they have that control, and this one deep pink ward you can see to the right of Dior's tower is actually going to offer that extra bit of information. And look, you'll see Jonghoon actually walking over that control ward now. So again, Niski has all the information in the world. Finn doing the same thing in terms of using his pressure to move down, drops the control ward, drops a ward onto the Rift Herald too. We have to keep our eyes on what these bot lanes are up to. Right now, neither one of them are making their way up, so perhaps neither team is looking to contest that objective. As I say that, the pings are coming down to Yor and 113.
Oh, you're going to have a lot of AP damage here onto the Karma, who does have flash to try and get away. You are going to use the Maokai ultimate to try and lock him down. Flashes into the ultimate, and sadly gets himself taken out. Mad Lions just being proactive with the information that you rightly sought out earlier.
Did Zhong get rooted twice by Elyoya's ultimate?
No, I think his the W caught him first. I can't remember the name of it. Twisted Advance, excuse me. Yeah, Twisted Advance caught him, which then didn't count on the first bit, and then he got caught on the second bit.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a priority
that's
thing.
Unfortunate. Yeah. So Jonghoon does end up losing his life, but overall, Astralis not too unhappy about that trade. Given that window, knowing where Elyoya was on the map, they're able to secure themselves a nice neutral objective, and they should be able to steal away this blue buff. So small goal gain for Mad Lions for the time being, as a plate is also secured by Kazi, but this Herald can be dropped to equalize that gold in no time at all.
It's interesting as well, because of the new format within the LEC, the last time these two actually played against each other, Hold Myself is going to have a 3v3 in his bot side. Kazi's trying to put down the damage. Kobe jumps in though to try and stop him and loses his life. We get the Lucian trade for the Karma. Hylissang now trying to run away. They're going to use the ultimate as well. Double kill coming into Kobe. Deor is here, and you do not have an ultimate to dissuade. There is still a flash on Elyoya, so he should not die. But great active play here from Astralis.
113 covering for a potential bot lane dive. Going to drop the Herald as well to invest even more gold into Kobe. And Niski can't follow up. He doesn't have a TP, it's not unleashed, and with Dior utilizing the ultimate, he's able to quickly rotate to the bot side of the map as well. So overall, big gains for Astralis, closing that gold gap quickly and trying to funnel more gold into Kobe, who, as we rightly said, has been one of the big carries for this split.
Replay here, because it looks like Mad are covering it, but they just don't expect the damage to come out.
I think Kazi recognizes that he's just dead here. Decides that the best thing that he can do is trade 1 for 1, and if he can get that kill, it's the best case scenario for him. Unfortunately for Hylissang, he realizes, well, even if I flash away, what am I going to do? It's already been spotted out that Dior is on his way down towards bot lane. We may as well hold on to the summoners for now and just disengage as quickly as possible, because some viewers may have seen what I saw, which was, hey, Elyoya is doing enough damage that he could probably kill 113. But what I didn't initially notice was the fact that Dior was already moving, but Elyoya, with much greater map awareness and good communication with Niski, was like, we can't win this, there's no way that we can stay in this fight, we have to get out, we have to disengage, and they end up losing Hylissang as a result.
This game is very reminiscent to the first time these guys played. It was week 1, all the way back then. Again, it's only a best of 1 in the start of the winter split, but it is kind of a similar pace to what it was. It was slow, it was a kill here, a kill there, an objective here, an objective there. Both teams kind of ramping themselves up towards those 2-3 item fights that we kind of saw Mad Lions take over with, because, you know, the way Niski's been playing this split, because of Elyoya's, pathing and working around his these team fights. So at the moment, Astralis are keeping in tow. Only about 1,000 gold lead in favor for Mad Lions at the moment. It is looking like this Infernal Dragon could be a point of contention now for both these sides.
Trading up towards the top lane, 1 versus 1. Chasey fully committing with the all-out. Good damage on the Finn.
Ooh! Oh, that was clean. That was so clean from Finn, but now you're going to try and use this on the bot side, and Younghoon will be taken out and traded back. So still 1-for-1 in the overall trade, but Finn getting dominance in the top side.
Finn continuing his great performance from week 3, finding a solo kill onto Chasey, and will pick himself up a couple plates. It does mean that Mad is very likely going to secure this dragon after losing Jonghoon, but Mad Lions, again, when we came into this game, oh, hang on a second, look at the collapse here.
Might have a little bit of collapse. Dayor went towards top side, then back towards mid, so he's not really covering anything, to be perfectly honest, as of right now. Dragon being taken by Mad, but this is just Mad picking up the objective. It looks like 113 wants to try and make something work, but don't forget, there are still flashes available for this bot lane of Mad Lions. As 113 makes himself known, he immediately tries to get himself out away from there, does not want anything to do with it. And it's going to be so hard to make that one work if you're on the side of Astralis, so they back themselves away.
Okay, so Astralis going toe-to-toe with Mad Lions for the time being, equal in traits. We're able to secure the first Herald, and it's one of those things where what we talked about was Astralis want to find themselves with an advantage in the early game. Right now, they don't have an incredible advantage, but some things that they do have is we've seen Dayor getting unlocked on the map, which is great from him. Some of the early investment from 113 didn't punish Niski, but it was enough to actually give Dayor windows. And Finn finds himself now with a lead in the isolated 1v1. Again, not that dramatic. You can see a 100 goal difference is what separates the two top laners. But I think that initially, while this looks quite promising for Astralis, you do have to be a little concerned about the fact that Mad Lions, with a very powerful scaling comp, they have a lot of range thanks to the Azir, they have a lot of utility thanks to the Nami and the Maokai. As the game goes on, it's going to be harder for Astralis to actually play these team fights. And if they can't really balloon open the game, potentially at the next Rift Herald fight, or if they can't find a significant advantage or like a very clear win condition with the rise of the Jax being unrivaled or so difficult to deal with that Mad Lions have to constantly spread apart their team fighting, then ultimately Mad Lions is just going to group and fight, and that's where they're going to be able to find their advantages.
And the big thing for Mad Lions as well is that, yes, it's only 4 kills apiece, but 2 of those kills went on to Niski. Niski is getting big. Niski is becoming a problem that we knew he would should he be left alone. So Astralis will be very aware that the big bird in the mid lane is getting very, very scary, and trying to see if they can get on top of this bot lane once more. But with the Imperial Mandate and the Gale Force finished up here for Hylissang and Karasi, that's a scary amount of damage that can all of a sudden turn a fight. But already we see Mad Lions moving their priority into the jungle.
Feels it. He feels something is dangerous.
Dayor knows he's not seeing a bot lane, he's not seeing a jungler, so I think he's just going to have to give up this tower because I don't think he really has anyone around him. But now they've changed their priority as 113 might be in a little bit of trouble. Karasi jumps over the wall, but I think 113 is going to recognize you wouldn't have done that if you were by yourself, so I think there's more people here.
Astralis trying to force Mad Lions away from the bot lane, because while Mad was threatening, Niski looking for the ult.
Oh, good flash from Dayor, but Niski trying to set up something there. And again, it does feel like Mad Lions are the ones finding ways around this fog of war and making nuisances of themselves. Speaking of nuisances, Karsi going to run straight in to the Vi. They're going to have the ultimate, but the answer will miss. Not quite there, but Younghoon does pick up the kill. That's a 2-3-2 karma right now. Plenty of damage there in the early stages. And forces a flash out of El Yoya as well.
Finn TP'd in, Dayor was threatening the collapse. Everything going up for Astralis right now. They finally secured a gold lead, and this is the type of play that they needed, really. Mad was threatening a dive in mid. Dayor, great awareness, great communication from the team to recognize that the collapse was happening. Finn, though, maybe overstaying. A bit of damage from Niski, but he should be able to get away. But he bought time. Then when Mad tried to collapse into the bot side jungle, they didn't really have access because Kobe and Jonghoon had pushed in that bot lane and then basically sat in the river and poked them. They leveraged their range in that situation to make it hard for Mad to collapse. And then while that was happening, they were just chipping away at the bot tower. This meant that Karsi and Hylissang lost a big wave. They're going to lose their tower. And Astralis got a big win there. Now with the next dragon spawning in about a minute and a half, you can see that these items are starting to come through. Ideally, Kobe can spend that gold, get his next item as well, so that they can come into this next fight with a 2-item spike and feel ready and poised to go toe-to-toe with Mad.
Wait to see now. Looks like a full teleport advantage going to be used here by the side of Mad Lions to secure themselves the Rift Herald. And both teams with a dragon apiece, a herald apiece. The goal pretty much dead even, so right now it does feel like it is going okay for Astralis. I think Mad Lions are happy as well with the situation. I think both teams are pretty happy with the one they're going. And as you said, it's about leveraging your own advantages, leveraging what you can make happen and trying to catch somebody on a bad rotation, off guard a little bit. That's going to be, honestly, the difference maker, in my opinion, for how these two teams are going to be able to fight.
Right now, it's Astralis that have better position when it comes to the Drake. They have the push in bot lane, they have a push in mid. They should be able to secure this tower as well, but a good culling comes out from Kazi to protect it. It won't be available for the team fight, but at the very least, it protects the tower for now. Astralis use their bot push to move up into mid. Interrupts the back as well. Really good stuff from Kobe. Niski does rotate down, but the TP is now available for Dior, and you can see both teams setting up to contest with this Drake.
Do have the Rift Herald for Elyoya, so they should be able to get, if they want, some priority in that mid lane. We put a bit of pressure there, but Astralis not going to take the bait just yet, saying, look, we're happy with where we're at, and we're happy to keep our priority in this Dragon. Not a lot of vision for really either side of it, being totally honest, in this Dragon Pit. It's a bit sparse for the moment. They finally get a ward in the back of it. It's the Dragon down to about 6,000 HP.
Reset comes through. Chasey on the flank, but Jonkin's trying to zone him away. Mad with the ultimate, though. Look at how much zone control and space that they acquire. But now that's gone, Astralis can look for the re-engage.
Look for it, but there's a little bit of a tidal wave. The currents are not with you, and they're going to go straight in onto Dayor, who falls. They're trying to get the Jax up to the backside. Hylissang will flash away from him as he gets taken out by the Cassante. The Dragon secured by Mad Lions as Finn wants revenge, saying, I was part of the party, and you took me out. Go down to the grey screen, so they will trade back a 2 for 1, excuse me, but still Mad Lions coming out on top.
Exactly that, Ocean. Mad Lions walk away the victors after they secured that Drake and won the team fight, and you can see how difficult it becomes for Astralis to play these front-to-back team fights. Chasey protecting his AD carry by dragging Finn out of the fight and sacrificing himself for the betterment of his team, but Mad want a bit of revenge.
Got no flash, Finn. Don't know if he has a ward or not to try and leap strike out of this, but he is just far enough away to keep himself alive and healthy. They won't get anything else, but let's have a look at how this fight went.
So you can see the ultimate from Maokai mainly used to zone away Astralis from the pit. The Dragon doesn't get burst down immediately. Dior oversteps, gets knocked up by the Nami ultimate. Then the bubble comes through and he loses his life. Chain CC'd. 113 goes onto Kazi as he then disengages from the fight. At this point, Finn tries to get the kill and Kobe dives in, but Kazi is able to create space as Finn is removed from the fight. As we mentioned, it does of course cost Chasey his life, but the objective was secured, and his AD carry lives to fight another day. So overall, a great fight for Mad Lions.
Really, really good fight, and Kobe has been the big key, as you said. He's got his Navori Quick Blades alongside that Essence Reaver, foregoing a Mythic for now. They're overrated, if you ask me. Niski topping the gold charts and really is just kind of scaling into oblivion. Already has a Shadow Flame on top of him. Didn't have to use the stopwatch in that last fight. So good to not have to use that, which means you don't have to prioritize anything like Ace Azanya's, but I'd see a little bit of a movement coming in here as 113 goes in very, very much so and ends up dying. They end up getting a bounce house on the Dayor. Elyoya survives because Cassante has TP'd in. They finally kill off the Maokai as it's a 1 for 2 in favor of Mad Lions. They're chasing down a couple of kills, and this damage from the Lucian is starting to stack up.
They can just threaten a Baron right now, Oshin. There is no jungler alive. Of course, they don't have Smite themselves, so maybe they don't want to gamble it. But with 4 members up, with the Azir at their disposal as well, they're going to start this one off.
Yeah, they're going to look for Yules. Absolutely decimate this Hellfire right now. As you can see, Younghoon just trying to walk forward.
I've seen a Karma steal a Baron
Yes,
before.
I've seen this before. Definitely read this chapter, but Kobe is around. He's going to try and poke just a little bit. They do not want Younghoon to try and get anything here. Niski will not get stunned up just yet. They turn straight off from the Baron and immediately try and find some of these kills. But Finn has made a surprise entrance. Finds one. Looking for Niski. Not going to be able to get it just yet as Elyoya has come back into the fight. He's now all alone. 1v4. Finds himself some refuge in the Wolf Cave and does get himself out. But Astralis stopped the Baron.
They do. I think the goal from Mav is never actually to commit to the Baron.
No, I'd be so, I was wondering.
They don't have an AD carry. That would be very, very risky. True, they do. A very fed one at that. But you can see how Mad, they just used it as an opportunity to force another fight. Kobe ended up losing his life. The shutdown did go over to Chasey, who will now get his second major item. That was a really nice flank from Finn. He continues to perform incredibly well. He looked great during the winter split, and his performance and level of play is currently at a high level, but I don't know if Finn is enough alone to be able to 1v9 this game. He is very strong right now, but just look at how tanky Chasey is. 246 armor is what I think I just saw in the lower left screen. The man's strong. He's beefy, and he's going to offer value as the Infinity Edge now being worked on for Kazi. Of course, with the item changes, a lot of AD carries can build it second. But one of the weaknesses, quote unquote, I guess you could argue, of Lucian is Lucian players still feel the need to have that extra bit of range. Meanwhile, Azir in the mid lane. It's the tale as old as time. Ryze versus Azir. Ryze clears waves faster, has more mobility, has more side lane threat. Azir has more range, has better scaling, has more damage, right? And it's one of those early versus late game things, and that's not to say that Ryze is weak in the late game. It's just that when it comes to a front-to-back team fight, Azir's range is always going to be king.
You're going to put your money on Azir. I think that's the best way to put it. But
it's just, you know, it's a matter of Emperor of Sands or a little wizard blue boy. You know? It's just... Hey man, I love the song "I'm Blue Dabba Dee Dabba Die," but
I was gonna say that thing was iconic. Like, you know, like as was Ryze.
True.
I was gonna say something, but it's a massive
now he's
spoiler.
Old with the time.
I was gonna say I had something there, but it was a massive spoiler for Ruination. So.
People still get mad at me when I reveal Lord of the Rings spoilers. So
how?
I don't know. I don't know.
There's Hobbit.
Okay. Well, you know what I'm just gonna say, guys? They take the ring to Mount Doom. They just do.
Oh
they
my
do that.
God!
That's what
I can't believe you've done this.
Yeah, you know.
You woke up and chose violence.
Yeah.
And
I can hear them all tweeting right now.
Yeah,
there's
you
like
hear
giant
the
Reddit
keyboards.
threads. Vedius is so unprofessional. The dragon being started up by Mad should be able to secure that one largely uncontested. Keep eyes on Dior as well. Does have the TP. Gonna go catch that bot wave. Try and push that one out as the dragon drops. Mad Lions though, they're in full swing. They really are incredibly strong right now. Double damage items secured for Niski. Looks like he's working towards the Death Cap third. The Infinity Edge should be close. You should be able to press a little gold button for me. See if you can figure that one out.
there you go.
So he's sitting on about 1.1k. So I think he only needs like 150 more, 200 more, something around that. He should have enough money for the Infinity Edge, which is likely what he's... Ooh, Chasey getting engaged on.
Chasey is very tanky though, so does lose a little bit of his health bars. We are going to see immediately getting caught out Dayor, but a good true shot barrage just pepper down more damage. They're trying to get on top of this Azir as the Jax has been shut down. It's just Mad Lions team fighting so much better. Kabe cannot get the damage. These champions will not fall, but Kabe is ticking down and he will die. Niski picks himself up his 5th kill of this game, and it's just like you said in Champ Select. If it goes to team fights, Mad Lions have it in the bank.
4 dead for Astralis, 5 alive for Mad, and a Baron is easy pickings. Mad were considered the favorites coming in. They haven't had to do anything crazy or chaotic. It's just been clean, straightforward League of Legends, and their team fighting continues to be immaculate. Look at the chain CC. Just watch Dior as he TPs in. He gets rooted, he gets knocked up, and then he's immediately forced out of the fight. Finn tries to re-engage beautifully, but the bubble from Hilly is clean. The stopwatch from Niski, and it comes back to this range conversation. Kabe is doing what he can on the backline, but as 2 champions are going in, he's forced to stay back as all this utility is coming through. Dior is forced to stay back, and it feels like that if Astralis had found creative ways, coming in from multiple flanks, kind of tore this Mad Lions apart a little bit more, rather than just playing the stock standard front to back. There were ways in which they can win, but if it's just going to be a front to back, Mad have your number every time.
Absolutely. Now with the Red Bull Baron power play, Mad Lions going to continue to try and knock down these outer structures. They haven't been able to do a huge amount of work before this. We are still fairly much in the late stages of the game as we come to 26 minutes, but they should be able to take down pretty much all of these tier 2s without any real resistance. For Astralis, you got to find a place to go. You got to try and find a last stand venue, because it is just going to be so hard to try and defend yourself. Dayor, no flash, and already losing about 1/3 of his HP just off of one combination from the Lucian.
The towers are slowly falling. 26 minutes in, Mad Lions continue to look dominant. You can see a flank created by Finn. He will be spotted out on vision. Mad know it's happening.
Binged it. And again, you've got the legacy of Shurima. You have the turret there to try and stop this. This is so the power of the Azir. Yes, it's fantastic in the late game, but also the passive is just so great at stopping people from getting underneath your skin.
here for one day, and you had to get Legacy in there, didn't you, Oshi?
Absolutely. It's literally the name. We're going to see the top laners trying to go 1v1, but I don't think Finn wants a 1v1. Never mind. Jesus Christ. That was a lot of damage coming out from Nitsky, who's just ridiculously huge right now. Level 16, doesn't even have the death cap right now. Doesn't need it, but Kabe gonna get even Kales, get him out of that one, Bear, but another Shurima shuffle hands Karzi a double kill on a plate, and as clean and as composed as you like, Mad Lions are knocking on the door of game one.
You can see the smile on Niski's face. The angry V emote comes through. Kabe, there's little he can do as Mad Lions tear apart the base of Astralis. Kabe forced to flat the damage from Niski. Dior doing what he can.
Well, Nitsky did have the flash as he was taking a little bit more damage than he probably wanted to, but Nexus turret number 2 falls down. The Nexus is not going to be too far behind, and that is game 1 to Mad Lions.
There was a bit of back and forth in a better early game. Let's have a look and see. The Maokai was something that I think was problematic when it came to the team fights. Excuse me. So let's have a look. All right, so the ban so far the same. Lula Caitlyn. Ashe was what Astralis also chose to ban. And there's that Maokai. So a small adaptation. Astralis clearly saying that they don't play it. Which isn't, well, when you look at 113's Winter Split, that's not too surprising. What does surprise me is that someone wouldn't want to play Maokai.
Yeah.
Just,
so easy.
It's so easy.
Like, gets to 25, 30 minutes, hits a sapling that I placed 40 seconds ago. Oh, 600-700 damage.
I mean, but hey, you know, maybe there are things that I don't fully understand. Regardless, Maokai and Sejuani will be removed from the pool. Caitlyn and Elise. Ashe is the big power pick that is still up and available. The question is, will it be banned away? Or will instead we see something else? Nami, perhaps, the Lucian, and it will be the Varus. Okay, so again, we've seen a number of different AD carries from Kabe, so Mad Lions are just removing the Varus because it's something that they don't want to have to deal with. This does leave open, well, a couple things really. If they want to grab the Lucian for themselves, if they think that it's problematic, of course, it's not like that the Ezreal Karma was something that you can see Finn having a bit of fun, but the Ezreal Karma wasn't exactly problematic, but it does look like Astralis is in fact saying, you know what, the Lucian, yeah, he's like, okay, they're mocking each other, they're having a bit of fun on stage, I like to see it. Bit of banter between the two teams in draft.
And look, I'm not going to say that's going to be a pretty standard bot lane into jungle pick, but it's probably going to be a pretty standard bot lane into jungle pick from both sides here. And then Yoya saying, look, cool, you got rid of the Maokai, I'm going to take that Vi away from you. I will say 113 was very good in the early stages to try and find some decent gank paths off, to try and catch out the bot lane specifically of Mad Lions, but this time around it's going to be Elyoya taking the Vi. Very, very simple champion, just siege, especially when you hit level 6. Sea champion, that's the one we want to kill. Right, I'm going in.
Wouldn't be surprised to see, yeah, I was actually going to say a mid lane lock-in for Astralis is something that they have shown before, and Dior is very comfortable on the Sylas. It is his most played. They wanted to try and secure it early, and that's exactly what they're going to do. This does give room for, the cheeky Yone over from Niski. This does give room for Mad Lions to limit the jungle pool a little bit more. I think Trundle is something they should actually consider banning away, because we know that 113 is willing to bring it out. The Draven gonna come out from Karzi, a very aggressive bot lane 2 versus 2. We've seen Hans Sama, and I think it was Patrick during the regular season, and I think we've also seen it from Jack Spectra. But Draven Nautilus, very powerful duo, is what we've often seen. Draven Ashe, not something we often see, but double Hail of Blades.
Very volatile.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very, very volatile. I will say, the Draven is fantastic if you can get it a kill. I literally only bring this up because we had a game in the LPL literally this week where Doggo went 0-0-0 in the entire game because they just did not play anything around it. They did not allow him to play in the game. So that can keep stacking, and it will, you know, you get those adorations, you get the execute, but if you just don't get that kill, it can feel like a false promise, really. It kind of feels like a false prophecy that you're going to be able to turn the game around.
Just have this image of a Draven walking around the map being like, what the hell is everyone?
What's going on?
You know that cat meme where he's like looking over the fence being like, what you doing over there? Like,
what's going on? just the John Travolta like looking around, like confused, like with hands up and stuff. But
I don't expect that to happen this game. I think Elyoya's gonna dive bot. I think that he is gonna pair up with Niski, and I think that Mad Lions is gonna look to show Astralis how it's done in the early game. We'll see if they're actually able to do it, though. Gangplank going to be taken away from Finn. This does suggest to me that Mad Lions is thinking about a Jax for themselves. Maybe they want to go for the Cassante once more, though, but I feel like that they're going to lock in the Rise now. I mean, that does make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
You already know what you're playing into in the mid lane. And for those that don't remember, Niski, back when he was on Fnatic, I believe it was Silas, Rise, Twisted Fate.
Yes.
The 3 champions he played all split.
That was a long split. That was the old format.
I mean, they finished. I mean, yeah, they finished second place that season. They ended up losing to the Mad Lions. But Niski is a very prominent Rise. He is very much about roaming, looking to be active on the map. And yeah, we'll see if he can get unlocked on the map. Meanwhile, Astralis responding with a Jax and a Jarvan. So a little bit more team fighting power. And but again, more towards early game, more towards this 1-3-1 style.
Yeah, and the Jarvan being locked in just kind of lend into what we've been saying all series about 1-1-3. He likes to engage. He likes to be the initiator for his team. And honestly, with the way the bot lane has kind of gone right now, is that you're seeing the Namis, the Ashes, the Heimerdingers. You need that initiation. You need someone to be able to put them in, which generally falls on the shoulders of the jungler. So 1-1-3 picks up that one. And of course, you're going to see the Gragas go into the Jax just as a mitigator in that top side. And
let's talk about how Astralis' draft has shifted from game 1 to game 2. Yes, it does require a little bit more early game presence. You still have strong side lane threat in the form of Silas and Jax, but in team fights, it now all wants to do the same thing. Lucian is quite short range, Silas wants to dive in, but Lucian has way more mobility to be able to navigate these fights. He's got a lot more initial burst. The Nami can offer more utility from the backline, with the Jarvan also having strong lockdown for the Draven, so if he ever loses his flash, it's very easy for these dive champions to get on top of him, and then it's difficult for the Draven to escape. There's also not a lot of peel on the side of Mad Lions compared to the previous game. There's not a lot of massive AoE crowd control outside of the Gragas that can be used to disengage a little bit more. But it's a lot more volatile on the side of the Mad Lions. Again, whenever you see Vi and Rise, don't be surprised to see an early mid lane gank. And there should be early mid lane action into heavy bot lane focus, because both these bot lanes want to try and get ahead.
We're going to see how both these teams play as we jump into our second game.
Hey Odi, thank you so much for joining me for this game too.
Hello.
Real quickly, when I had my interview with Dayer, he said you guys are very willing to go against Elyoya and Niski for that 2v2. Do you think that worked out in game number 1?
No, I think we slipped a few times here and there in game 1, so obviously it didn't really go according to plan. But I do believe we actually showed up early game pretty well. We just lost control of the game mid-game, so we will see how we do this game. I think agency is on their side this time, so it's on us to stop it.
Now, a lot of the teams choose to pick red side. You guys chose blue side, and we saw that Lucian is a priority of blue side. Is the bot lane somewhere you guys believe you can be superior in?
I mean, we had to shake things up a bit. I think it's a good idea. Like, there was some things we wanted to change, and yeah. I think it's never a bad idea to just swap things around and see how enemy reacts to you, you know? It can be a game free as well after that, so I think it's just good to study them.
Well, thank you very much, AOD. We have some action on the Rift. Oshin and Vedi, back to you.
Thank you so much, Trouble. Good insights there. I like as well, you said, look, we had to change something up. We had to give something different in this game because we knew we were kind of playing on the back foot now that we're 1-0 down. But it is good to see Astralis kind of being a little bit more aggressive. We saw 1-1-3 just kind of being a nuisance in around that banana bush and just saying, look, I know where you're going. I'm going to see if I can get into your heads a little bit.
Side of a bit of battle for the early game vision, nothing too crazy. You can see the runes on your screen as well. But yeah, interesting to see how Astralis shake things up. He talks about how there's a little bit more agency and responsibility on Mad this time around. We'll see if they're able to pull it off. But we do have to give some accolades and recognition for Kazi. This is, well, last game was in fact his LEC 100th win. Congratulations to Kazi. Man's been LEC for a very long time now. 2 championships under his belt, or 2 title holders, I should say. And yeah, 100 LEC wins now. Quite an accomplishment. He still feels like a bit of a, I don't want to word this poorly, but he still feels like a bit of a kid to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I was there
a new guy on the block.
I was there when he joined the league, and fresh-faced, eager to play, happy-go-lucky guy. But the man's come a very long way in his league career. I expect him to continue to go very far, especially with this mad roster. Was able to get the early push, was afraid of an early 1-1-3 gank, who was threatening after a full bot side clear. Keeping my eyes now on Elyoya, who's trying to stay in the fog of war.
That's level 3 in there. I'm going to try and fully go into this. Carzzy flashes away. Elyoya is roaming down as well. This can all go very wayward here for Astralis if they give over an early kill, and you do not want to try and get that Draven going. So get the flash, nicely done. Actually get the heal as well. So far so good for the Astralis jungle and bot lane.
Elyoya is here, covering, and he shouldn't have been spotted yet. 1-1-3. They're suspicious though.
Yeah, they know. They had a feeling.
It's so great to see this from pro players. That level of awareness of like, what if he is here? The fact that they always play that way is something that you very rarely see in your solo queue games, that's for sure. Nisqy though, looking
You've
to
been
get a
bringing
bit
up solo queuing yourself a lot recently. It's a
Well,
lot
I'm
of
actually just throwing shade at everyone else.
Yeah.
It's literally targeted at all of you watching at home. Yeah, you can use your D colon. Yeah, I'm talking about you.
Yeah.
Ward your bushes, okay? Ward them.
I am not affiliated with this man.
Yeah.
I do not have
You
to
don't
say-
ward either, do you?
Hey, I play support, man.
Yeah.
All I do is ward.
Okay.
I'm a ward bot.
Okay, I'll believe it when I see it. But in any case, speaking of wards, let's have a look at this bot side of the map. You can see, if I can find, this is the button that I'm looking for. You can see wards dropped pretty much everywhere. Of course, that is the Scuttle Crab as well, but it just provides great cover for Carzzy and Hylissang to play as aggressive as they want on the bot side of the map. There is always the risk of a lane gank with Carzzy having no flash, but fortunately, no level 6 on 1-1-3 just yet. The Rise is now on the move, something that we often see. Elyoya threatening the dive. And even if they don't find anything, zoning Kobe and Jonghun off the wave is already a big advantage gain for the Mad Lions. They're going for this.
They're going to go for it because Astralis Spotlight has said, we want to try and clear this wave. It will be cleared very shortly. The TP is going to be coming in. Heal does not keep him alive as Carzzy picks up a kill and will be taken out shortly afterwards. Now you've got Deor, but not a huge amount of mana. They're trying to get one more auto attack onto him. Oh, not quite able to get the passive there. Now Elyoya is dead. Nisqy is still firing off. You've got the barrier here for Hylissang. Flash!